Such a beautiful morning. Today I decided to come out early. It's been cloudy, off and on raining, and clean up this part of my garden. I want to tidy it up because I want to make sure that with all my tubs and containers that I can get around them. Because right now I can't get through this way. And the reason these are all here now is we pulled this out and I set up these two compost in place bins. They're going to drain towards the front, as you can see, so I can put something right in the front, right in the ground there. So they're going to get that rich food from the compost, that I guess some people call it compost tea. They're going to get all that as I water my plants in here. It will run into the wood chips. And then in here, this is where the purple yams were growing, the ubes, and well, that was actually came up from peeling, so it wasn't something that was purposely planted. And I'm going to, let me see if I can show you something. I've been composting in here, and I'm going to clean this all up. But I wanted to show you something. My husband hasn't done any picking of any. Here is let's see all this is breaking down? Look how beautiful underneath it broke down. Oh, look at the earthworms. It's just full. Look at that. I mean, I didn't put any earthworms in here. These are night crawlers. Some are light colored, so they may not all be night crawlers, but look at them. But look at this. This is those purple yams, and it's quite big. I don't know if I can get in there myself. And this was just a piece of skin, and it grew. And it's huge. I can feel it goes, I wonder if I should pull it up or not. Look at the earthworms. Is that amazing? See, about all the compost, when you throw your kitchen scraps in there, it immediately attracts all the critters that are supposed to eat it to start eating it. Now, of course, they're not going to come to the top. So it looks like just trash laying there. But right underneath, look what you've got going on. You've got all your microbes and everything going on that's supposed to be in there, including your earthworms. They will find it. In some areas, maybe not. You may have to throw some native soil in there and hope that there's some worm, eggs in there. And if there are, they'll hatch. Or get yourself some worms and throw it in there. I don't, because we have so many. Obviously, we have so many. I mean, look at this. That is just amazing. I didn't even know they were all in here until I started picking around. But this is a purple yam. Now, it goes way down there. It's huge. I don't know if I should damage it or not. But again, this one came up strictly from a piece of peeling off of a purple yam that we had eaten. So it's in there. I might leave it so it will get bigger, because right now it's about the size of my fist, see? And it will come back up. So I'm going to push everything back.
This is the vine that's been trimmed down.
So I got Gary and I decided to go back into my compost bin here and let's get the ube out and he can plant it in his garden. But this is the one that was just the piece of skin that got in there. Look at all the earthworms. Be gentle with them. And this was nothing but skin. We never planted one. We never planned on it. So we're going to harvest this one, but probably not to eat. You're going to replant it, right?
I'll replant it. I'll be able to...
Look at that. Out of a piece of... Oh my goodness. That's quite big for a piece of skin.
That's a lot bigger than the bulbul I planted out front.
Yeah, I want all my earthworms. Wow. I should almost wash it in some rainwater so we can see the exact size.
Yeah, I'll take it over to the tub.
Go over to the tub. So now we're going to wash it off and see what we've got here. Again, keep in mind, this was not a bulbul. This was not a piece of the yam itself. This was strictly a peeling from a carrot peeler, a piece of skin that grew. It must have been just a right piece of skin.
Yeah, the earthworms are eating. There's a little bit on the bottom that's rotting a little.
Probably because it's too wet in there where I'm composting. It's been raining a lot.
But see, all that's good. You just cut it across there.
And you could eat it.
And you could eat it.
So there it is. It grew from a peeled off a carrot peeler, a vegetable peeler. Threw that in my compost bin, and look at that. And that's less than a year.
That's less than a year. You put it in for another year and it'll just keep growing bigger and bigger. Try to see if I can show the purple skin here.
There we go. Look at the purple skin. Wow, so don't throw those peelings away if you guys are eating them. Throw it in your compost bins and hopefully some of it will grow. Or throw it in some potting soil or anything you want.
Now for me to plant it back in the ground down in my garden, I'll set it in the ground that way because that's the way it came out of the ground. But it doesn't really matter because if you turn it this way, it'll probably shoot anyway. Or if it was upside down, it'll still find a way to shoot.
Look at that.
And that's probably about a pound.
Heavy thing. Now if you scratched it, would that ruin it?
No.
Look at that rich color.
That's a deep purple.
You know what? Oh, look at that. That is a deep purple. Scratch it one more time.
Literally bleeding purple on my fingers.
Look at that. Okay, well, I'll let you get back to work, and I'm going to get back to working on my garden. Cool. You know, if you wanted to break this down quicker, the ideal thing to do would be to cover this with some native soil, wood chips, you know, pretty much any type of covering, because earthworms will not come to the top. They may crawl around at night when it's damp and move around, but they're not going to be crawling around the top. They're not snakes. They're not going to be on the top. So you could break it down quicker by keeping it covered. But I just wanted to show you all, you know, the ube, and I didn't realize all the earthworms are here. See, I want to move all these pots, but again, I've got earthworms everywhere under these pots, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it. It's amazing on the wood chips here how it has changed the land in this area. I mean, let me see if I can swing around over here and show you. This is what the soil looked like. Dry, clay, nothing. And in order to grow in that, you really needed to prep it. And that meant, you know, food and fertilizers and compost and everything. But now the wood chips themselves are breaking down. You know, I read that ginger is a very heavy feeder. And that's very interesting because I grew a ton of ginger without ever feeding it. I didn't even put compost in my ginger pots. All I put was wood chips on the top. So the wood chips must have a lot of nutrients in there if they're heavy feeders, because I ended up with a ton of ginger. But that's just so fascinating that there's just so many earthworms. And again, if you want, cover it. You know, I could cover it on the top. I'm in no hurry right now. I'm not planting in here yet. But I could throw something on the top to cover all the kitchen scraps. I still dump in this big one when I don't know where I want to put it. So I'm just going to leave it right now. But these are doing really good. Again, if you're going to do it like I do it, I mean, you know, everybody's got their own way and you may find a better way. Put some pots in there. See the pots? Put pots in there, and you don't have to water your compost. All you have to do is water the pots. I have a little bit of mint growing there. I even used a container from almond milk and put some onions in there, and I'll be tearing that apart and planting the onions in the ground later. But you don't have to water the compost bins. You're going to water your plants. Here's carrots growing. I didn't plant the seed. Actually, that's a carrot I had eaten and planted the top in there, and it grew. Might get some seeds out of it. But I just find it fascinating that all through here, I'm going to move all these because I'm setting it up. And the earthworms are just everywhere. I don't know if there's earthworms here. Look at the soil. I mean, look at the soil. The wood chips over just a couple years. Look at this. This is just amazing. The wood chips have broken down into a beautiful compost soil. I mean, this whole area I could plant in the ground. I've got plants growing in the ground. I mean, look at all my kale. More than half of it is in the ground. I've got a little bit growing in that compost container that I set up where I throw kitchen scraps. But, you know, I can plant in the ground. I do both. I have a little more control when I use a container, you know, whether it's a big tub or half a trash can cut down or whatever. But, boy, if you can get some wood chips, and I'm not talking about the bag stuff from the hardware stores or nurseries, I'm talking about real wood chips off of real trees. It's amazing that that has changed everything. But don't forget, composting in place, there's no turning, there's no nothing. And it's just so great. I just love it. It made life easier because I wasn't going to set up bins. I wasn't going to be turning. And of course, I'm not doing hot compost. That's different. This is cold compost, live soil. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm just working in the garden, going to straighten this area out. That's my project for today. And this way I can easily walk. I mean, you want to be able to walk around whatever you're growing. You want to be able to get to it. See, I haven't picked the yellow leaves off that dinosaur kale back there because I can't get to it. So I'm going to move these pots around and situate them differently where I can get around it. Going to probably leave the earthworms. Hopefully they'll just go underground. Might snatch a couple and throw some around other places. But that's my project for today. Wanted to share that with you. Oh, there's my strawberry thing. I'm actually pulling these out and I'm going to put them in these towers that I've got here. Wood chips that have broken down over here, I'll just push that pile over, dig from underneath, and use that to move my strawberries with. So with that, I better get back to work before I don't have enough time to get, work on my garden. Have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.